My name is David. Now, David in my family came 3 different ways. There was Davy, there was Dave, and there was David. There was 3 different ways of approaching me. Davy, one of my parents said, Davy! Davy was safe and warm and comfortable and untroubled. Christmas was nearby and birthdays. Davy! Where are you hiding, Davy? Come on, Davy, come on out and see Daddy. Santa Claus has bought a lovely thing for you, Davy. I felt totally safe. Dave was more grown up, more adult. Dave, you did a very good job in the garden with me today. I'm very proud of you. Thanks a lot, Dave. Mother, your son Dave is a good kid. David, totally different. David! 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 David would clear constipation at 300 yards. I used to wear those elasticated trousers, which were always slipping down because I was always running around. Little kid running around. And your belly comes out, and the vest goes up, the shirt goes up, the trousers go down. There's a kind of exposure of belly. My mother couldn't stand this. Come here, David. I'd stand in front of her, and she'd lean forward, and she'd pick me up by the sides of my trousers. And I would be suspended in air, and she would be juggling me back into the trousers. Whatever testicles I had, they were coming out of my nose. My legs are legs that do not hold up socks. I don't know why, I just have legs that won't hold up socks. It doesn't make any difference now because I've got long trousers. But when I was a child, and I had those short trousers, those little short trousers, Jesus, kids have a bad time with short trousers. People don't know how bad it was with short trousers when you were a kid. They're all into long trousers and jeans now, but we had the short trousers. The bloody wind, the rain and chilblains. And when you went for a piss, you always pulled up. You never opened the front, you always pull up the side. Always little dribbles all down your leg. Frozen, little icicles of urine. But my legs, the socks, they always used to I'd pull them up. And for some reason or other, this used to drive my mother absolutely bananas. Pull up your socks. Pull them up. Don't walk around with your socks like that. Pull them up. And I'd pull them up in 2 minutes. Pull them up. I did. No, you didn't. If you had to pull them up, they'd be up. She went out and made garters. She made garters that were half the circumference of my leg. My socks would not have come down in a hurricane. I would take my socks off at night. There was a ridge in my leg. A trench, 1/4 of an inch deep. My legs had been cut off for blood for 8 hours. White lumps hanging out of my knees. And all that, the flattening of head. And do you remember this? My mother used to say things like, I'd be standing there beside her somewhere. Where am I? Look at your face. She'd actually say that and mean things like that. Look at your face. When I do it, I go. Don't you get cheeky with me. Don't you get cheeky with me. Your face is filthy. It's filthy. It's covered in dirt. You're a dirty little boy. I told you to wash your face. No, you didn't. If you'd have washed your face, it would have been clean. You're just a dirty, filthy little boy. And then she would go into her handbag around and come out with a handkerchief, a mucus-covered handkerchief that has been sitting in there for years. She spits on her handkerchief and proceeds to wipe her spit all over my face and calls me a dirty little bastard. Living in Ireland, I had a series of Irish spinster aunts. Roman Catholic. I had an Aunt Catherine who was enormous. Absolutely enormous. When she wasn't moving, she moved. If she came to a stop suddenly, it would take 20 minutes for the rest of the party to stop. It used to go. She had breasts. One of them would have been enough for a dozen women. When she sat, they used to rest on her lap and hang over her knees. It stood like torpedoes just sitting there. Do you ever watch a woman when she walks? When a woman walks, it's an extraordinary movement. When a woman walks, if a woman puts forward her left foot, her breasts actually just slightly move to the right. It's like pendulums. Right foot, they go back. Left foot, they go back. So it's just this movement. My Aunt Catherine, walking down the road, these things would go. And they'd reach this point, and they'd come back at a greater speed. And they would just go backwards and forward. I used to follow her down the road. There would be pedestrians being knocked into the bloody road. And when she sat down, her arse was so enormous, it would displace the dress. I mean, she'd sit down, the dress would be here, she'd sit down, and whoom, it would be up. And she had those big, long knickers that they used to wear. Those ones with the elastic right down there. In Ireland, we used to call them wrist breakers. You get your hand in there, you couldn't get it out again, the blood would just die. Auntie Eileen was the nearest thing to an anorexic elbow you have ever seen. And she drank maybe 2 bottles of sherry a day. I mean, I didn't know this because I was unaware of it. I was aware of that kind of sweet smell. She was skinny. She had myopic eyes and a moustache. She had a moustache. Now, women will never say that other women have got a moustache. I used to say to my mother, she has a moustache. She hasn't got a moustache. Stop that, kid. Why doesn't she shave it like Daddy? Shut up. And she had 1 tooth. I mean, it was an extraordinary image. I'd come into the house and she'd go, hello, Daddy. Hello, Daddy. Come over and give your Auntie Eileen a kiss. And my mother would say, kiss her. Hello, mother. Kiss her. Oh, hi. And I had an Aunt Sissy. Cecilia, she's called Sissy. And Aunt Sissy had a nervous tick in her cheek. Now, this tick was caused by 2 things. 2 things would activate this tick. I have to go back a little bit. We had a dog called Foxy. He was an old mongrel dog. And in the 16 years of his life, he had never been laid. So come 16, he was totally frustrated. He'd taken to humping trees. He'd go by, he would be on an oak. He'd be sitting on an oak. Or he'd have the back wheel of your bike. While you were on it. Cycling down the road. And the first time I realized that my mother was an intelligent woman, I walked into the house one day, and he is humping the leg of the table. This dog is humping the table. And I said, Mommy, what's Foxy doing? And she went, he's helping Mommy polish the furniture. But he also loved Aunt Sissy's leg. That was real eroticism to him. Now, every Tuesday, all these aunts of mine used to come to the house to play bridge. Now, the dog was aware of this. Monday night, he used to be standing behind the door. Ten o'clock in the morning, he's salving. 2 o'clock, my Aunt Sissy would arrive. She'd come through the door. He was on the leg. And she was a good Catholic. She used to ignore it totally. She'd walk around the house going... Oh, you've had some new curtains, Jean. But he was on the leg and the tick was going. And the other time the tick was started was when they were playing cards. They used to play bridge, then they'd have tea, and then the real reason why they were there, the game. And I'm telling you, these old biddies would cut your throat at Coast. I mean, real hard poker players, every one of them. And they would sit and play poker. And if Aunt Sissy got a good hand, the tick would stop. And all the other ones would look under the table. And if the dog wasn't there, they'd throw their hands in. The poor old bitch never won a hand in her life. I think I might leave you to go home now. Thank you for listening. Good night.